Quentin Tarantino seems to enjoy watching movies rather than making them. There's still no word about his 10th and final film, yet he has recommended over 300 movies over the years. His fans might be irked by his unwillingness to be as industrious as his peers, but he sure has good taste. That Tarantino is a film fan more than a filmmaker should come as no surprise, considering that he worked at Video Archives, a video store in Manhattan Beach, California, for 5 years. Additionally, he is a self-taught director, meaning he had to do plenty of research early in his career. When people ask me if I went to film school, I tell them, no, I went to films, Tarantino was once quoted saying. Years before he became an industry titan, the Pulp Fiction filmmaker built a reputation in the local community for recommending the best films. And he has never stopped. From the good, the bad, and the ugly to A Man Called Horse, his suggestions will have you nodding in agreement once you watch it. Currently married to Israeli model and singer Daniela Pick, Tarantino has also admitted to watching one specific film with every woman he ever went on a date with. And that's the John Wayne Western, Rio Bravo. With Valentine's Day upon us once again, let's take a look at Tarantino's most romantic movie recommendation. Rio Bravo is about a sheriff who's willing to do his job or die trying. Directed by Howard Hawks and written by Jules Furthman and Lee Brackett, best known for The Empire Strikes Back. Rio Bravo takes us to the tiny Texas town of Rio Bravo, where Sheriff John T. Chance, John Wayne, seems to have everything under control. That's until Joe Burdette, Claude Akins, the never-do-well brother of wealthy land baron, Nathan Burdette, John Russell, kills a man who had tried to stop him from beating up someone. Chance arrests the lawbreaker, but Nathan, who thrives on impunity, refuses to accept the turn of events. He thus hires goons to try and break Joe out. What follows is a tense standoff. As an attack looms, Chance gathers allies, including an alcoholic gunslinger and a young cowboy with a quick draw. The sheriff plans to hold out for a few days until the U.S. Marshal arrives. Adding to the fun is Feathers, Angie Dickinson, the widow of an unscrupulous gambler who has feelings for Chance. Our good sheriff spends a huge chunk of the movie's runtime trying to avoid the comical yet sincere come-ons of the kittenish siren. But how long can he resist her charms? He asks her to leave town for her safety, but she won't. Butterflies flutter in her stomach, so she risks her safe, comfortable life to help him succeed. Howard Hawks and John Wayne made Rio Bravo as a response to High Noon, which had dispensed with the earnest Western tough guy conventions for something more realistic. Today, both films are considered some of the greatest Westerns of all time. Hawks and Wayne hated the film because they felt that the idea of a conflicted sheriff begging for help reeked of cowardice and was utterly shameful. The latter even described it as un-American. Consequently, he made a film where the lawman was brave and hard and able allies. TCM recalls Hawks saying, "I didn't think a good sheriff was going to go running around town like a chicken with his head cut off asking for help." Hawks and Wayne might have made Rio Bravo out of spite, but Tarantino feels it's the better film. So much so that it never misses his date night list. Tarantino will not date anyone who doesn't like the John Wayne Western. Quentin Tarantino considers Rio Bravo a perfect hangout movie. This kind of film has a conversational tone. The characters spend a lot of time together, bantering, strategizing, or simply reminiscing before getting into some action. You see them truly bonding, hence, when they finally go on a mission together, you believe they have each other's backs. Tarantino loves the Western so much that he admitted during a 2007 Cannes Film Festival Q&A session that if his date doesn't like the film, there won't be a relationship. That's a huge dating requirement, but Quentin wants what Quentin wants, and we won't fault him for that. And even though he is no dating expert, his recommendation and approach aren't off if you think about it. Dating or marrying someone who likes the same things you do is highly encouraged, especially regarding recreational activities. And Tarantino loves Westerns. We bet the director never has to fight with his wife over the remote control. Beyond that, Rio Bravo has many layers to it, so anyone who fully comprehends the themes is likely to be a fun person to have intellectual conversations with. On top of that, the movie moves painfully slowly at times, so it's a great tool to use to see how patient a potential lover is. Most importantly, it works well as a romance film, thanks to its little details that ring true to anyone who's ever participated in mate chasing. Rio Bravo has some of the best flirting scenes of any movie. John Wayne is good, but the Western drama is majorly fueled by a scorching performance from Angie Dickinson in the role of Feathers, whose lust and compassion project off the screen like arrows. The actress, who collected numerous awards throughout her career, had her breakout role in Rio Bravo, and right from her first scene, you can see why. In a society where men are always expected to make the first move or do the rescuing, Fithers is a breath of fresh air. She takes charge, pursuing the protagonist with relentlessly sunny ardor, even when his professional prospects look bleak and his authority begins to fracture. Take her first encounter with the sheriff, where he accuses her of being a card cheat. To prove she isn't, she invites him to search her body, knowing they'll be able to lock eyes properly while at it. He still acts tough, but you bet it won't be long before she weakens his defenses. Chance is the archetypal authoritative man, yet Feathers isn't overly awed by the man. She wants him, so she does whatever it takes. Soon, the lawman finds his entrenched single-life mindset under siege. Another memorable moment unfolds when both characters are in Feathers' room. The two exchange playful words before the widow, hoping for some hanky-panky, concludes with, "In case you make up your mind, I left my door open. Get a good night's sleep." What about when she gets him a new shirt and insists he fit it as she watches? Or when she says she'd run a mile if she ever saw him the way he looks in a particular scene, suggesting unattractiveness, and when the sheriff suggests that he'd be glad if she took off, she hits back with, "Oh, I'd be back," after I caught my breath. Classic bait and switch. Not to forget when she boldly tells him that she wants something to happen. Feathers sure deserves a spot among the greatest movie seducers. Any two potential lovers watching Rio Bravo together get the message that it's okay for either party to make a move and to also look out for each other when the need arises. We see Feathers flirt for over 120 minutes, several days in the movie's fictional world, getting us another perfect reminder. Never give up too quickly. When she finally penetrates his hardened heart and lures him into a kiss, we get the same kind of relief that we do when the villains are finally defeated. Pure fun.